How's it going, everyone? I'm Maniacal, and today's matter is my 100th video. Now, I've been playing with the idea of actually doing an intro, and I think that's the one I'm going to stick with for now. It's kind of one of those things of I don't really know what to do for that. I feel like everything I've come up with in my brain is corny, and I kind of wanted to stick with what my name is, so I'm Maniacal, and today's matter is my 100th video. So I wanted to do something a little bit special for this video. I wanted to do something a little bit, out there. I've been doing a lot of vlogs, and I kind of touch on my history a little bit. But what I wanted to do was kind of give you guys a history of what got me to here. Who is this Brian guy? And I just wanted to give you guys like a good idea of like where I'm coming from and maybe a little bit more of my personality, because I don't know, I feel like I need to put my personality out there a little bit more and have you guys understand where I'm coming from as to figure out why I act the way I act, and maybe a little bit more of, who I am as a person. So let's start from the very beginning. I was a gamer from the point a controller was put in my hands. I was one of those kids that would spend endless hours in front of a TV screen, blocking it and stuff like that, and my mom and dad called me Pumpkinhead for the longest time because they thought that I had a big head because I was always in front of the screen, which was kind of funny to me, but they didn't really like it too much. But yeah, so I was a gamer from pretty much being a little kiddo. And another thing was I was always wanting to be an artist. I always loved art. My mom drew some fantastic drawings. She was an artist. She drew, she painted, she did all these different things. My dad doodled, and he gave me a lot of inspiration to do like tattoo art. And he was really big into doing tattoos, and he had his own tattoo system and stuff like that. And it was awesome. Like I loved everything about art. So when I was 18, I graduated high school. And I was faced with a lot of decisions. Where do I go from here? What are my options? Option one was to stay at home, work, and pretty much try to figure out where I'm going with life after that. Option two was to go to college and try to figure out, what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. But option two didn't really make sense to me because I didn't have any money. I didn't have any means of paying for it, and looking at government funding wasn't really going to pay for anything. Looking at student loans was like, God, how am I going to pay these off? So I started looking at option three. People started telling me I should join the army, and I started looking at it as an option, realizing, hey, that they'll actually pay for a few years of college for me, and it makes life a lot easier. So why not do some college? Why not do some army? Why not do both? I went and I talked to a recruiter, and he had me take the ASVAB test, and I did really well. I did good enough to get pretty much any job, and I started looking at all the different jobs. I started looking at like X-ray tech, satellite repair, and one of the jobs that I really wanted to get was multimedia illustrator. It's in the artistic field, and I'm not exactly sure what they do, but it sounded like they would be like drawing and creating commercials and stuff like that, and that really sounded like something that I was like, this is going to progress my career in the future even further. So I started asking about that. Sadly, the job field was so filled that I would have to wait almost a year to get into it. And at that point, I really wanted to get my life started. I was 18, I was full of like energy. I was like, yeah, let's get something going. So I started looking at all the different options, and I was looking at all these different career fields, and I was like, that doesn't really sound interesting. That's not anywhere near relevant to what I'm doing. And one that actually stood out was the UAV operator. And I thought to myself, hey, this is going to be just like controlling a remote control robot kind of deal. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, a game controller, and like, yeah, this is me. I thought it was going to be small aircrafts, like on the ground with people kind of like flying that towards things as I was getting into it. I came to realize that I was actually going to be in the back of a truck, and I was going to be at a control station controlling a 14-foot wingspan aircraft as soon as I got into it. And I was like, oh crap, this is actually kind of huge. This is kind of a big deal. So I joined the Army in November of 2007. Basic training is exactly what you'd expect it to be. You go there, you get yelled at, you don't sleep very great, you have to deal with a whole bunch of crap, you have to learn how to work with people, and you learn a lot of like random little skills that, it's pretty awesome. But it's really not that hard. For anybody who's actually looking at joining any kind of military field, basic training is not what you should fear. So I got out of basic and I went right into AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training. And there I learned a lot of what I was going to be doing at my job. And there I also started up my first YouTube channel. It was the BMW 121688 channel. I had a little bit of free time because we were in a MOS that was going to be in the extended program. It was a 6-month training period. Most training is a little bit shorter than that. So I started up this YouTube channel, and one of the things I wanted to do was basically upload all of my older videos and keep them as memories. Maybe to show off to friends, maybe to show off to family, maybe to show off to random people who wanted to watch it. But I uploaded a lot of my claymations, random silly little videos, things like that that were just personal to me, and I thought they were really fun. I'd watched a lot of these like random little videos of, cats and stuff like that, and I was like, why can't I just upload silly little things like that? So I got out of AIT, got to my first unit, and within a few months I actually deployed to Iraq. My main focus was to get as focused on my career as possible and get as good as it as possible. Being so new to the Army, I wanted to learn a lot of where I was going and what I was going to be doing and how long I was actually going to be in. At this point, I basically said I only want to be in for 4 years. I didn't plan on meeting my wife. I didn't plan on anything that had happened up until this point. I pretty much just said life is going to happen the way it's going to happen, and I'm just going to follow the flow. It's kind of crazy that whenever you're put into a situation where you could potentially die, or you could potentially get shot, or potentially lose everything that you have, you start to put things into perspective as to what's important. So a few years down the line, I realized that, hey, the Army is probably not the best option for me. I'd been a leader, I'd been doing my job for forever, and I started looking at everything that I've been doing. I started getting bad knees, I started getting a bad back, I had high blood pressure, I developed sleep apnea, which was killing me, literally. I was dying in the Army for being in the Army, and it started making me realize that my go-getter attitude, my desire to push myself above and beyond is maybe not as worth it as I started originally thinking. I'd re-enlisted once, and I was planning on being in for at least 8 years. The Army was doing cut-downs at the time, and I was faced with the option of either re-enlist now or get kicked out a few months early. So I was in the Army for 7 years and 3 months, and I got out in January of 2015. I got out honorably. I actually served very well, and I did my job well. I think I was actually a really great leader, and I know I had a huge impact on a lot of people. So I'm actually really, really proud of my work in the Army. Whenever I got out of the Army, I got into college right away, and one of the things I'm kind of proud of, and it's kind of scary that things lined up so perfectly, but I was actually in school a few days before I actually got out of the Army, so they overlapped just slightly, and I was actually taking classes right before I got out, and it was awesome. Like, everything just lined up perfectly. So starting these classes was like a breath of fresh air for me. It gave me a new focus. It gave me a new drive. I didn't have to focus on being in charge of people. I didn't have to focus on flying an aircraft. I didn't have to focus on being on top of all my regulations, making sure everybody else was on top of their regulations, making sure all this different stuff was happening, blah, 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 blah. But what it gave me the ability to do was look at everything from a new perspective. While I was in the Army, I'd watched a lot of YouTube videos of people playing games, but I never really had the time to truly focus on that. And even if I did, I had a slight fear in the back of my brain of like getting in trouble for it, because a lot of social media had been kind of focusing on soldiers. You had soldiers who were sitting in their car whenever the horn was going off and they were supposed to get out and salute, and they were getting in trouble because they recorded themselves like, hee hee hee, look at me, I'm so sneaky. And they were idiots. Basically, a lot of soldiers were getting in trouble for a lot of stupid things like that. And I think the nail in the coffin was whenever a drill sergeant actually got in trouble for being in a porno. I think a soldier recognized her, and it became a huge deal. I think she actually got discharged from the Army because of it. And it really kind of put a damper in the idea of me actually making any kind of video content for anything, because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to say a cuss word and be like, oh, you're being unprofessional online, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm a very professional person, and I'm very paranoid. Whenever I have to make an appearance, on something, I want to be professional. I want to be straightforward. And it's one of those things of I want to be good. I want to be like the best, and I want to not get in trouble for stupid shit. Plus, the Army was a career choice. I wanted to be good at it, and it was honorable, I thought. So yeah, I'm a little bit paranoid whenever it comes to all that crazy stuff. It put a lot of things in the back burner, but I was still trying to learn how to do it on my own. I was learning a lot of the free softwares, and I was learning a lot of the background stuff, but I truly didn't know how to record video and record my voice with it and stuff like that. So in school, I hit the ground running. I instantly started getting good grades. I was like, yes, this is awesome. This is easy. I got this. This is, being in the Army was, something, but this is awesome. This is great. I'm picking this stuff up so easily. This is so awesome. Why don't I just start developing a game? Why don't I just start actually working on this stuff right away? And why don't I just actually start making the stuff that I'm actually talking about? So I started developing a group, and I put together about 18 people that seemed like they were motivated. People that had some slight skills in drawing, some slight skills in animation, some actually go-getter attitude. And it made sense to start working on a game with these guys. I was going to be the lead on this project. I actually developed this game from head to toe. I knew everything that was going to happen for the first level, and I was going to work on each level with each person and actually help them develop it. I was like, okay, we can do this. This is too easy. Sadly, the project kind of died off. A lot of people weren't doing anything, and the people that were doing stuff kind of lost their motivation because they saw everybody else not doing anything, and it really it killed the motivation for it. So I said, okay, everybody, I'm going to cancel the project for now, and we'll probably pick it back up later. Well, since then, a lot of those people have left school, and etc., etc. My second quarter in school, I actually walked into the Gamers Guild because I was interested in actually joining the club. And as soon as I walked in, they were doing a vote for president. They were like, okay, well, we need a new president for the club, and we need to figure out something because this person's graduating. I said, I'll be president, I guess. I'll join. How's it going? So I didn't really expect to get that position, but I was kind of against a couple people, and because I'm able to speak for myself very well and make myself sound good, I was like, hey, I have leadership experience, I have experience doing paperwork, I have experience doing this and that. This shouldn't be an issue. And it wasn't. I actually became president, and it was a really easy position to hold. So being the president of the club was pretty awesome. I did that for a little bit over 2 years, and I really enjoyed it. I finally stopped being the president last quarter. I finally let somebody else take over because I'm getting towards the end of my time in school, and I want to focus on school. So while all this was going on, I started developing the desire to actually start making YouTube videos. I started wanting to do animations. I started wanting to do Let's Plays and stuff like that because I love watching them. I thought, why not do it myself? And I was slowly starting to record and slowly starting to do all these different things. And then I got a phone call from my brother, and I had to go home, and basically my dad got cancer, and he died. It opened my eyes up to a lot of different things as to where I was in life and where I was going and potential other things that might happen in my near future. After my dad died, I started really looking at where I was in life and started looking at all the different things and putting things into perspective, really truly trying to figure out what I was going to be doing in life and really trying to figure out where I was going, why I was doing things I was doing and stuff like that. I'd put so much faith in other people to get projects done, and I just wanted to do something by myself now. I felt like failing was no longer an option, so why not just do something I can't fail at? Why not just do something that's just kind of fun, and it's just for me? It's something to get my name out there, something to help me develop more charisma, something to have fun with, something to just be myself with. Why don't I take another shot at this? Why don't I have a little bit of fun with it? Why don't I actually push myself to do this and actually start it? I started recording things and posting them on my older channel, and I realized very quickly that my name on there was not going to get me very far. BMW 121688 was me. It was who I was. It was part of my personality. It was my gamer tag for everything. But I realized that I needed to actually find a way to get a good name that people would look at and be like, hey, this is actually kind of fun. I mean, you had names out there that were like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Cinnamon Toast Ken, Captain Sparkles, Yogscast, like all these different names. They all they all have a ring to them. They all have something that actually makes it sound good. So I started playing around with all these different names, trying to figure out what I wanted to be called. I looked at cute, innocent, nonsensical, random combinations of letters, all the way to very profound, intellectual sounding names that just didn't really sound like they would work. So I started looking at all the different things, and I realized that why not just stick with what I am, and stick with something that I've known myself as. And the nickname Maniacal is something that I've always kind of held in the back of my head as a fun nickname that people have called me. I always thought it was one of those more fitting names that kind of fit with my personality and fit with who I am as a deep down internal person. But also looking at that, I realized that the name Maniacal by itself was not going to work. And I tried playing with different combinations of how to spell it and stuff like that, and none of them really make sense. Maniacal as itself, a lot of people don't know how to pronounce the word, so why not just stick with the proper spelling of it? But I needed a second word or a beginning word, and I played a lot with that. I played with wickedly maniacal, maniacal wickedness, and I wanted it to be a little bit more like wicked because my last name's Wicker. I thought wicked would be kind of a fun second word for that, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do that, but it just didn't sound right. It didn't flow right, and I didn't want to portray myself as somebody who's dark and murderous, and I'm going to kill everyone, and hi everyone, my name's Maniacal. And it's like, that's not who I am. I'm not, I mean, I love being creepy and stuff like that, but I want to be real too. I really enjoy having fun with being the creepy character, but at the same time, that's not who I am as a person. That's not who I truly am deep down inside. Deep down inside, I'm actually a very straightforward person, very down to earth. I didn't just want to portray myself as dark, and I didn't want to be that person who's going to just run out and be like, oh, hey, look, explosion, boom. I put a lot of thought into the name that I have now. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make a channel that could encompass anything, because I didn't want to just be gaming. I wanted to be animations, I wanted to be vlogs, I wanted to be a lot of these things. I wanted to make a channel that was completely devoted to whatever the hell I wanted to post. Anything that is talked about, anything that is held, anything that I am is matter. So the second part of the channel, the second word became matter. I am maniacal, and everything I put on the channel is the matter. That kind of goes into the whole intro that I'm trying to come up with, that I'm still playing around with. I'll play around with it a little bit more. If I find something better, I'll try to work with that. But yeah. So whenever I started my channel, the first video I posted was a Cards Against Humanity video. I wanted it to start off strong. I wanted it to start off with something that I put a lot of work into. And the Cards Against Humanity videos I did for the original thing, they take forever to edit. We played on the Pretend You're XYZ website, and I remember we spent a few hours just playing the game and actually having fun. I broke the video down to show all the different pieces, and I showed the scores, and I went through and I went through frame by frame, and I made sure that every time a score changed, it was on the board, and I put little score counters in the top corner and all this different stuff. And each video I did took about 8 hours or more to edit. That was my very first video. I put so much work into it, and I had a lot of fun with those guys. The second thing I did was I started realizing that if I'm going to have this channel, I need to completely back away from my older channel. So I started grabbing the videos off there and transferring them over. I had a few videos that really stood out to me. Portal was, I think, the first one I uploaded from the old channel. And that was the first video I truly was able to record properly. I'd spent, I don't know how many hours working on all the different softwares. I remember I put in so much hard work to get it to actually record. And then I finally recorded, and something little would fail. There was an audio dissync or something like that. And I was like, God damn it, what am I doing wrong? And then I would record it again, and then the game feed would be weird. And it was actually the fourth try that I finally got it. And what I was doing was I was actually doing a full playthrough. It took me about an hour per playthrough. Portal, if you know all the puzzles, you know you can go through it pretty quickly. So I went through and I had a lot of fun with it, but at the same time I lost a lot of that enthusiasm that was in my voice. And I was like, alright, let's get this going for the fourth time. Alright guys, we're going to do this again. I didn't know if I was going to succeed, I don't know if I was going to fail, and I realized that that was probably not the best way to have a video go, but I still wanted to upload that because it was something I was proud of. It was something that was a beginning point for me. It was the beginning point for me. So after I uploaded all the videos from the old channel, I started recording for the purpose of getting better. I looked at how am I recording, how can I record better, how can I save space, but also at the same time get good quality. and I started looking at all these different features. I started looking at my audio equipment, and my wife, she got me the Blue Yeti for Christmas, this last Christmas. So my wife has been nothing but supportive of me since I started doing this whole YouTube thing. She's been pushing me to get better, and she's been pushing me to stay on track with everything and make sure that I'm actually doing school, doing work, and actually looking at the future for what it is. So 100 videos in, and I really don't know where to take this video. So this is the 100th episode on the ManiacalMatter channel, and this truly is just the beginning for me on here. I want to have fun with this. I want to have the ability to keep growing, and I want to keep making better videos. I'm going to keep trying to grow this channel, and I'm going to keep trying to have fun with it. So recently, PewDiePie actually announced that he's going to be doing another shout-out competition. And with all those things from before in mind, and looking at all I've done and where I'm at, and how proud I actually am of where I've come, I really wanted to enter that to see, you know, if I actually had a chance at that. I see so many people doing YouTube videos, and I know I might not actually have a chance at getting out there and, you know, winning this competition, but I thought, why not try? Why not put myself out there? And that's actually been one of my themes over the last month. It's been putting myself out there as somebody who's an artist, somebody who's a YouTuber. The RPG Minx is actually doing an art competition right now, which I actually created a quick drawing for and submitted. And I've just been really putting myself out there as a student as well, just really trying to do better. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really nervous about a lot of the things I've done and a lot of the things I want to do. Competitions are crazy frustrating because you think that you've done so well, you think that you actually have a chance of winning, and you know, if you don't win, then you feel like you have so much more to work on, which is, I think, why I'm trying to do them more so now. So I don't think I'll track every 100th video. What I think I'll do is, for every milestone that I feel that I've reached, I will do another video like this, or something similar, or whatever really truly feels right for the time. But alright, so for the last part of this video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's watching this, everybody who's supported me, subscribed, commented, liked, everybody that's actually shown me support and love and actually given me a little bit more motivation to say that, hey, I actually have a really fun personality, or hey, I should do this, or hey, I should do that. I love it. I absolutely love that you guys have done that. And for the last part of it, I wanted to say this last little part as my possible outro for the future. I love being corny, but at the same time, I feel that being too corny is a little bit of a stretch. So, my name is Maniacal, and I just wanted to say that you guys matter to me. So, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.